Hey guys, it's me, Cyrus. Well, today I want to talk to you about Sega again. And this time I want to talk to you about a handheld which I have enjoyed for many years. This is one that I got back in the day and is still, I think, a really fun way to play video games. This is the Sega Game Gear. Sega did release a couple of different handhelds. They had the Nomad, which was a portable Genesis. And then they had the Game Gear, and the Game Gear is basically a portable Sega Master System. It does have some enhancements. It has stereo sound, and it has a lot more colors available. It's got 32,000 colors available. So, what that means is, this console, which does have pretty much the same internals as a Sega Master System, other than that, is backwards compatible with the Sega Master System. You can actually play Master System cartridges on this thing, believe it or not. And if you get an EverDrive for this, you can play Master System ROMs on this. Now, because this does have some enhancements over the Master System, you really can't play Game Gear games on a Master System. But it does, you can at least play the Master System games on this, so that's pretty cool. The Game Gear was something that was released to compete with the Game Boy back in the day. This was marketed heavily because of the color screen that it has, which unfortunately means this thing's going to chew batteries up, and it does take 6 AA batteries, 3 in each side, like that, and it'll go through those pretty quickly. If you're playing continuously, you might get, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe a little more. I don't know. It just depends on how good of batteries you got. One good thing about the Master System, one good thing about the Game Gear is that you could get an AC adapter for it. They sold a battery pack for it. You can use rechargeable batteries on this too. But if you're trying to find yourself a Game Gear today, then you might want to find an AC adapter. And the best thing I can tell you is just get an AC adapter for a Sega Genesis Model 2. This is the Model 2 Genesis right here. And if you get an AC adapter for that, then you have an AC adapter for this too, because it uses the exact same power. So yeah, this is, for all intents and purposes, the exact same thing. So yeah, the Game Gear is pretty cool. There's all kinds of mods that have been done on this thing, where people have replaced the screen with like a modern LCD screen. So you can get that done. I know that there's different models of the Game Gear that were released over the years, and some of them are easier to mod than others. So if you're trying to pick up a Game Gear to be modded, then do a little research. Make sure you're getting one that's the right one, and take a look on the back here. You see that serial number? That's going to tell you if it's something that could be easily modded or not. This one unfortunately is really not, but I picked this up really cheap. It was not expensive or anything. I just wanted a Game Gear that was just a stock Game Gear, because I'm kind of a nerd for like unmodified consoles, and sometimes it's fun to see the old style screen, even though it's not that great. It's not that impressive. Game Gear cartridges are a little bit bigger than Game Boy cartridges. They're not super big though, especially if you compare them to the Master System cartridges like these. But like I said, the Game Gear, if you bought an adapter for it like this, you can actually put a Master System cartridge in your Game Gear. So you take this adapter, it looks like this, and you just plug it straight into the back of your Game Gear. Slide it in like that. You can screw it in to secure it, you don't have to. And then you take your Master System cartridge and you load that in. Does it go this way? Yeah. No, it works this way. There we go. There you go. And now you've got your Master System game in your Game Gear. And believe it or not, you fire this thing up, and even the EverDrive does work. So it's kind of maybe a little bit hard to see, but let's see here. Oh, come on. There we go. Like, how do I start the game? Okay. So yeah, there you go. It does work. And then you can run Master System games on your Game Gear. Now, I will tell you, if you do run Master System games on there, the aspect ratio is fine, but the problem is that the detail, these are designed, the Master System games are designed to work on a big TV. So it might be a little hard to see some of the finer things like the text and stuff like that. Some of the modifications they did when they would port Master System games over to the Game Gear was they would blow them up so they were a lot bigger on the screen. So unfortunately, what that means is, like, if you ever play Game Gear games on an emulator on a big TV, they're going to look really big and like weird. This is a console that I love very much, that I have played over the years and just got an enormous amount of enjoyment out of. I know that there are other ways you can play Game Gear cartridges, like I said, through emulators or through like the analog pocket with an adapter, things like that. But I think this is still, a fun little way to play games, especially if you get yourself an AC adapter for it, or if you modify your console to take like a more modern battery solution, like a lithium battery, or you just keep rechargeables going on it, and you get yourself one of those screen modifications, because those screen mods are pretty cool. There's a lot of detail that you can see that it's kind of hard to see with the actual old school screen, but like with a more modern screen, the games really do pop and do look a lot better. There's so many great titles on the Game Gear. So many like heavy hitter banger games that are just really awesome. So it's got a huge library of really fun games. Add the Master System stuff to that, and holy crap, Game Gear is amazing. They did release sort of a Game Gear Mini thing. It's not really a Game Gear Mini, because they're like these tiny little Game Gears with like a couple of games built into them. But I really would love to see like a real like Game Gear re-release that looks like a real Game Gear, but just has a whole bunch of games built in and a more modern screen and everything. And maybe stereo speakers on the actual console would be nice. We can get stereo out of the headphone jack on the old one, but yeah, just a modern Game Gear would be ridiculously cool. So anyway, what do you think? Do you like the Game Gear? Is this a console that you enjoy? Have you ever owned one? Have you ever thought about getting one? What do you think about it? What do you think about this thing? Let me know your thoughts. Leave some comments in the description. And let's go play some Sega Game Gear. This is badass. I'll talk to you later. Take care, guys.